Howdy people, and welcome to a new series, which we should be doing each month to review the free games available for PlayStation Plus. The way we'll be doing this is reviewing the main two, which this month will be Steep and Portal Knights, and then any extra small games we have on there will be given in an honourable mention. The idea is that I'll be trying to do a little bit of gameplay for the two main games, as I have done on this one, and then perhaps just an overview of the last game or a short clip of it. This time, as it was actually the first one, I have done a little bit of gameplay on the Alpha Legion, but only a small bit. And to be fair, I'm glad I did, as my view on it wasn't quite what I was expecting. So, good to know. But that's why I'm doing these, so that I can do this, and you can decide if it's worth your time, worth the space on your computer, to give these games a go. So, this is a fresh new series, as of course anyone that's watched me normally knows it's normally a Let's Play sort of series, or a few random videos, but I'm hoping this will come of use to people. If it's something people enjoy, please let me know. Leave a like or a comment or both, and if you're not already, please subscribe. As I said, we'll be bringing these out each month unless people really hate it, and then for the sake of the viewers it will be left alone. But anyway, we're going to get started then, and I hope you all enjoy it, and I hope it's helpful. So without further ado, we're going to jump on with our first game. So, straight in with our first game, Portal Knights. This one I was looking forward to. I actually bought this for my son a while ago as a way to get him to stop hassling me about Ark for a bit, as it was still a bit old for him. And yeah, I too really enjoy this. There's a lot of options. You can play two-player split screen, which is a good start. You can be a warrior, a ranger, or a mage, which is basically melee attacks, range attacks, or magic. And then the avatars. As you can see in front of you here, the amount of options and variations is unreal. 29 hairstyles, 14 beard styles. I have no idea how many hair colours, and that's just the hair. You know, ears, mouth shape, eye shapes, voice. There's lots to do, and on top of that there are actually extra cosmetic DLC bits that you can buy. They're only little packages and all that, a couple of quid each or something, or dollars obviously, or whichever currency you're in. Here's a quick shot of them now, and these two on the left are ones that I actually got because they were both free. Quick bit of information for you: if you do get them, can't find them, starting your game, playing it, press the pause, go to the DLC shop on the pause menu, go into there, and I believe you have to activate them or something. You'll see the ones that you've got, and it will say on there. You'll then get little chests in your inventory. You can put them down, they'll open up, you get the bits. And so later on you'll actually see that I got a raccoon, so yay. Now, back to the islands. You can have normal size or large, which is obviously how much area each one of the islands have. I believe the normal maps have about 48 islands per universe, whereas if you make the creative ones you can have up to 78 islands in a universe. So, lots to do. Now, as we can see here, it is very much like a Minecraft style game of blocks and everything, but the characters and everything are a bit more curvy. On top of that, there are actually quests and such to do. Where I've just moved off from there was a mine, and there's actually a person there you can get a quest off. I believe it's nothing too fancy, it's basically go and make a pick. So, you know, it gives it more. You've got your inventories a lot clearer, you've got attributes that you can put things on, and talents. You've got, I'm not sure if it's more that you can make, but it's a lot clearer to make things, I find, on this as to what you need than it would be on Minecraft or something. So, in a way, it's kind of, to be honest, in my opinion, this is what Pixar could have been, minus the taming, obviously. But if it was done right, I mean, this game, yeah, it's free on your PlayStation Plus. Before that, I think it was £14, £15. I bought it on sale a while ago for my son, and it was £8. And, you know, that's the same price as a cosmetics DLC pack for Conan. And then you get, what, a couple of dresses and maybe some fancy clothes or skins or whatever for your creatures and that. Yay. Well, this game's free. So, you know, if you enjoy this sort of game, if you enjoy Minecraft, building, survival, roleplay, any of that, play them with the family, you know, it's great, it's worth it. And don't forget as well, this is still online as well, so I believe online you can still have up to 4 players or so. I can't be 100% sure about that, but anyone reads details before they download this, then you'll soon find out. So, as you can see there, we're still crafting bits. That's a stone pick that I've just made, so it's better for your mining than doing it by fist and such. It's a bit like Minecraft in that way, I guess. It's a bit like Ark in that way. In some ways, you can harvest stuff with your bare hands, but the tools make it better and quicker. Not too sure about Minecraft, I don't play it much, but I know in Ark, for instance, that your tools will degrade. As you can see there, my stone pick's already degraded a lot. So there is still a bit of a grind. There are still some higher bosses, like for instance this skeleton. Nothing fancy to be clear at the moment, so don't judge the game on that. This is still the first world. But the lock-on capability and being able to jump around and still hit it, that I like as a nice change. The being able to dodge backwards and forwards with a little roll there, I find that quite enjoyable. And you can still do this in third person or first person. So it's got a bit for everyone there, I think. Graphics. They're not going to win any awards for being the most detailed graphics, but this is a block-based game. And if you're considering that, it does work really nicely. You know, the shadowing effect's nice, the characters are smooth, and the gameplay's smooth. What more do you need? So, moving on, the point of the game. There you get a quick glimpse of the map, and inventory and all such other things. But of course the thing that you'll be doing is actually making up these cubes, which are the portal cubes or stones. At first you start off with blue ones, you get shards off of enemies that you kill, make the shards into the cubes, put enough in to unlock the portals, and you can move on to the next level. And levelling up, of course, attributes and talents, so your strength, dexterity and such. Talents is as I'm a ranger, crossbow and such. Here's the map of everything I've unlocked, and if you look at each place, the nice thing is it actually tells you what's there. It tells you what enemies are there, tells you what resources are there, what stone resources, what people. You know if you haven't found anything, because those names wouldn't actually be there, they come up in question marks. So it's nice and clear, it's nice and easy to keep track of where you've been, what you've seen, where you need to go for other things. So, the gameplay itself. I mean, I find this game does go quite smoothly. It's easy to pick up, it's easy to learn what you need. A few bits can get annoying, like if you don't realise that you have to actually go to different areas to get some of the different resources, but you can pick it up well enough, and it is enjoyable to do in the meantime. It's not overly difficult. It's not like some games where you're going to be spawning in and you're going to find yourself dead more often than not. You know, at the same time, if you want, you can go through most of these worlds and avoid pretty much all the enemies except for maybe a few blobs or something, and get everything done. Looking here, the bits you need, you know, there are a few bits, but they're not too complicated. The fire didn't really do much. I was more being nosy to see if I can make coal in it, which, as it is, I'll need from another area, but of course once I get to that area, it'll tell me the resources, what it is. Workbenches you can upgrade, archer station I've got for my one so that I can make my crossbows when I've got the bits, and I believe it makes my upgraded armour and such. Looking there tells you what other bits I need. Holding triangle tells you what they actually are as well, rather than just showing you a picture. It's all quite simple and friendly, and yet it is enjoyable. This is one of those games that if you sat on there, you could lose yourself to it for hours, if this is the sort you enjoy. Now look at me there, you might notice I do have a monocle on, and I do have a raccoon follow me. That's out of the 2 DLC packs that I mentioned earlier that I had free, and it's not just me, to be clear, it's anyone actually has those for free if they look in their add-ons, and go in, download, you press your pause button, go to DLC shop, and you can claim or activate or whatever it is it says for those packs. So, there we are. So, there can be a bit of grind in this game, but let's not forget as well, if you just want to build and make pretty things, there is a creative mode. And in that creative mode, you can even actually take islands that you visited on your adventure games and transplant them to it. And this has 78 islands you can put into the creative mode. So let's have a quick highlight of it. It's multiplayer, both online and offline, offline being split screen. It's PEGI 7, so friendly for most of the family. It's a survival roleplay style game, let's say. It's a building game for sure, if you want to, but you don't have to pass the basics. And is it worth your time? Well, honestly, yes, I'd say it was. In my opinion, of course, you may disagree, but from the games I play and the games I enjoy, having this as a free game, I jumped at it straight away, and I'm really glad I did. And I'm really looking forward to putting some more hours into it. So, I hope you've all enjoyed it. I hope this actually made you consider getting it, to at least try it out. If you don't like it, then fair enough, but I hope this has helped, and I hope you consider it because of it. And so on to our next game, which is Steep. And this one's a winter sports style game. Includes a lot of things from snowboarding, skiing, rocket wingsuiting, paragliding, parachuting, and a few more on the extra DLCs. To be clear, it does like to remind you that there are extra DLCs for this one, but I mean, it's their game, so I suppose it's fair enough that they'll advertise their extra content. You don't have to have it, but at the same time, it does look like it'd be quite fun to go through those bits. Now, I won't lie, this is one that I've been looking at for a while, as I did used to enjoy quite a bit of skiing. Nowadays, I could probably just about go downhill and maybe not crash, so it's been a while. But let's face it, the sports we enjoy, it's nice to be able to sit on our backsides and play them on a computer once in a while, rather than go out, spend hundreds of pounds or hundreds of dollars to get somewhere and do it. But is this worth it? Does it give you the enjoyment? That's the real question, and that's what we're going to look at in this review. First off, the graphics. Well, as you've seen so far, the graphics are stunning. But what about the rest of it? What about the gameplay? Well, the gameplay, as you can see at the moment, it seems to be quite smooth. It's an open world sort of area as well, so unlike some of these style games, racing games normally and such, you're not going to get to edges of a racing area and it'd be like, oh, you're out of range, and you all of a sudden bounce into some invisible barrier or yellow glowing barrier or whatever crap. You only really get penned into the mountain ranges that you're on. So if you go to the bottom of the mountain, you carry on travelling, or you rocket glide around the place, then you might get a warning that you go into the boundary or something. But past that, it's not. You can pretty much go wherever you want in any style: snowboarding, rocket boarding, skiing, etc. So that to me is a nice change, and it's clear on what to do. When you start off with this, you do get a few tutorials, and it does teach you how to do the things like the stunts. It seems like you can actually keep the button stylings up on the screen for stunts and everything that you're going to be doing. And yeah, that's a nice change as well. A lot of these games will get to the stage of you kind of feel like you need to be in some sort of secret club that knows the secret up, down, left, right, square, triangle, L2, R2 to perform these things. But this doesn't. It does pretty much feel like it's just a case of, can you pull it off, not do you know how to pull it off. In regards to the rest of it, you know, there's lots to do on here. I had a look through, and there's points of interest to find, there's challenges to do, and there's events to do, I believe it is, and there's over 100 of each of those. So it's not like you're going to be putting this game in and 12 hours later you're going to finish every single bit on it. At the same time, if you enjoy this sort of thing, even the races and that don't matter. Just to be able to go up to any point on a mountain and choose your own path down that mountain, on the north side, the south side, the west side, the east side of it, whatever, that is brilliant. So I can see this game getting a lot of play out of it if this is the sort of game you enjoy. It's very responsive. It's not too hard, not too easy, I suppose you could say. It does feel quite realistic in regards to how you have to do these things, apart from, of course, a lot of the time when you hit things wrong, you would probably die rather than survive. Like, for instance, here, you may land on the snow, but realistically, if you've gone all that way on a wingsuit, I should imagine you'd probably want some sort of parachute to stop you. Past that, can you play it multiplayer? You can, but only online. In fact, the game needs you to be online and linked to the Ubisoft or Uplay account, Once you do link to it, it is free to link to that, to be clear, and it's even free to create those accounts. And you do get a few extra bits. You get some helicopter tickets, some extra decals and cosmetics, and some credit to spend in game. So it's not that bad a thing. I suppose it's their way of keeping track of who's on and who's not and all. That isn't my area of expertise. But then again, winter sports isn't my biggest area of expertise. I can ski a bit, and that's it. So I can't really judge much on that. But I do enjoy this. It's a nice, big, open area. There's lots to do. Even if you're not wanting to do the races, there's lots to do just in free play mode. You can join on with your mates and you can all just go down random tracks. You can go on to stunt ones. You actually get your friends' times coming up for you when you've done a race to see how you've done against them, or their points if it's a stunt one, etc. So it's enjoyable, and at the same time it's one of these games, obviously being a sports game, where you don't need to grind for an eternity. I mean, for instance, something like GT Sport, of course, then it matters what cars you've got on a lot of the races, and if you haven't put the time and the money into getting those cars and upgrading them and all that, it's going to hurt you. But from what I've seen of this, a snowboard's a snowboard. The only difference is if you've got Mickey Mouse on it or Rabid Rabbits as a decal, and that doesn't seem to make a single bit of difference in any way. That also is another bonus. So, would I recommend this one for you? Well, yeah. If you enjoy this sort of game, if you enjoy the winter sports, there's not really anything else out. And as it's free, now I know some people in there are going to be up on their soapboxes. It's not free, we pay for our PS Plus, you know. Well, yeah, you do pay for your PS Plus, but you pay for your PS Plus to go online and play games online. Like, for instance, I believe Black Ops and all that sort of thing. If you don't have your PlayStation Plus, you can't play it online. So you're going to be paying for it for that, really, aren't you, either way? And if they include 2 games on that, then it kind of is free, in my eyes. Or it's as good as. I'm not paying any extra money for these games, and that's all that matters to me. But this game, I probably would have bought if it hadn't come out on the PS Plus when I had the money. Controls-wise, as you can see there, and at other times, it is very clear what you've got to do. They actually give you a small tutorial when you first start off on these things, like the stunts and all that, how to do them. And that I enjoy as well. It's not like one of these magical games like Tony Hawk's Skating or something like that used to be, or even some of the Street Fighters or Mortal Kombats, where you feel like you had to be in some sort of secret gamer's Illuminati to know that the perfect way to do this stunt is square, triangle, left, right, L2, R2. Toss the controller in the air and spin it around 3 times, blah blah. No, you get simple bits. You can flip forwards and backwards, basically. You can spin left and right. You can grab, and that's it. The only thing is, it's not whether you know how to do the stunts, it's whether you can pull off the stunts, and I think that makes a big difference. And at the same time, even with all the bits that you can buy, it's all basically cosmetics pretty much, apart from helicopter bits and that, which helps you progress around the map. But you're not paying to win, let's say. You're not getting upgraded stuff. You're just getting stuff that looks different. You know, you can use a snowboard straight from the beginning, or you can use a snowboard that you've gone and spent however many credits on to make it look like Mickey Mouse laughing. It doesn't really matter. It's still the same performance. It still goes the same way. You can still take yourself out the same way. So that as well, I'd say, is a nice bonus. So, what's the review of this game? I mean, as we can see here, it's clear what the buttons are. It shows you these things nice and easily. As we've said, there's no secret Illuminati, shake behind the back control thing of winning. It is just plain and simple buttons for spinning, turning, etc., etc. for your stunts. There's a good selection of styles you can do. As I said, wingsuiting, rocket wingsuit, paragliding, parachuting, blah blah blah. It handles smoothly. It looks great. It's enjoyable. There's lots to do. I mean, what more do you want? Would this game be worth it if it wasn't on PlayStation Plus? yeah, I still think it'd be worth it then. I wouldn't be out there paying £40 for it or something, but I'm quite sure it's nowhere near that price anyway. DLCs, would you get them? It depends how much you enjoy it and how much more you want to play the game. But for a game that's free, as we say, then yes, it's definitely worth a go. If you like this sort of game, if you like a challenge, if you like winter sports, if you like competing with friends on something where you're not just shooting each other, it's definitely worth it. It's a good laugh. There's lots of content. You're not paying to win, as we've said. I mean, what more do we need to give you on it? What more do I need to say? And if you're not sure still, don't forget, just purchase it. You don't need to download it. You don't need to take up the space if you haven't got it. Just go to your PS Plus, purchase the games, and don't download them. And a year from now, you could get bored of all your other games. You're still going to have this on your library. You can still download it then. What's the harm? Of course, if you're not into this sort of game, if you aren't into racing, stunts, etc., don't get it. But past that, there's no reason I could think of saying not to get this. There's no other real games like it. There's no real competition for it in winter sports or anything. And, you know, there's no harm in getting it for the sake of free, as we've already all got our PS Plus subscription. So that's my honest opinion on it. You may disagree, you may not, but honestly, I can't think of how anything I've said on this game could be wrong. It couldn't really be a clearer review than this one, so a good place to start on our first month. Go for it, unless you absolutely hate sports games. And finally, on our honourable mentions, we have Fallen Legion, not Alpha Legion, as I thought it was called. Now this, I expected it to be a bit like Final Fantasy style, if you choose one person, you choose their attacks, etc. No, it's a bit confusing. It's not very clear. It seems to be a button bashing. You have a choice of two people here. I believe you get a third person later, so you can have your circle, your cross, or your square for people who are attacking. They seem to do special attacks at times. I have no idea why. And you have a last person there who, if you use triangle, has his magic. You can heal your people, revive them if they die, use the magic to attack people. It seems interesting, but it's not even the graphics or anything. I just can't really get on with this game. I can't understand what makes it more improved, if you get what I mean. You know, am I just meant to bash the circle button until he's run out and then bash the X until they've run out, or what? I don't know, and that's not been made clear for me. I went through the first little mission bit, and yeah, I've played it, and to be honest, I played it for you guys, and that was it. If not, I wouldn't have installed this. I wouldn't have given it a go. And I'm glad I gave it a go to find out it wasn't what I expected in the Final Fantasy style, but I think I'd have been more happy with it if it was the Final Fantasy style. I mean, there seems to be a bit in it, and I have no idea how much content there is through the game, but personally for me, this isn't the style I enjoy. Yeah, it might be free. I've purchased it now. I've downloaded it. I've done my review of it. And all I'm going to be doing is going straight back into my library and uninstalling this and using the space for anything else, because this game does not stand out to me. I might be wrong. Some of you might enjoy this sort of game. There does seem to be upgrading of your people. It seems to be more areas. I'm guessing you get different people to fight. Looking at the video on the actual PlayStation Plus page, there does seem to be more. But for me, this one, if it is a yeah or a meh, it's definitely a meh. You know, unless you like what you see, or unless it sounds interesting to you, I wouldn't bother. You're not going to be disappointed. That's my honest opinion. Anyway, I hope this has been worth it to all of you. I hope it's been some help. As I said, we're going to carry on doing this each month for the new games that come out. So any suggestions from anyone, any comments, feel free to let me know. There are a few things I'll be changing. I'm hoping to do a review at the end of each game and actually put up some clear icons for what they are, what genre, whether or not they're multiplayer offline or online, you know, age ratings maybe, that sort of thing. So any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you've enjoyed this, if it's been helpful, drop me a like. If you want to see more, then please subscribe. And past that, I hope you all enjoy the games. Anyone actually jumps on Portal Knights or Steep, then feel free to give me a yelp and maybe we'll get on to have a game sometime. Past that, take care people. All the best. Bye bye.